Greetings, Iain from R.T.O here. Welcome to another retro ranking, and this one is a bit of a tribute show to a great Canadian singer-songwriter, Gordon Lightfoot, born in 1938 and sadly died on May the 1st of this year. International successful folk rock singer and country singer. And they say he's credited with helping to define the folk pop sound of the 60s and 70s. He's also been referred to as the greatest songwriter from Canada, and his songs have been recorded by lots of filmers people. He's always sung songs about trains and shipwrecks and rivers and highways. That's what he's known for. Achieved gold and multi-platinum albums, and some of his songs, as I said, have been recorded by notable artists, one being the Guess Who recorded a song called Lightfoot on their 68 album, and the Wheatfield song, the lyrics contain many Lightfoot songs. Robbie Robertson of the band described Lightfoot as a national treasure. And Bob Dylan, who's a great writer himself, is also a Lightfoot fan and called him one of his favourite songwriters. Now that's coming from Bob Dylan. I can't think of any Gordon Lightfoot song that I don't like. Every time I hear a song of his, I wish it was Last Forever. He performed at the opening ceremony of the Winter Games in Calgary, and has received so many awards. He was touring up until mid-April of this year, and his declining health caused him to cancel the remainder of his tour. And he sadly died of natural causes at the age of 84. So this was a huge task, putting this one together. As soon as I knew he died, we put a tribute show together, and boy was it hard. It was so hard. It fiddled about, and I missed off a track that I was reminded by Mastermind Dave, and I'll tell you more about that later. So here are my top 10 songs by Gordon for me. Probably if they're not for you, but I think with Gordon songs, it's very personal and what they mean to you. They're all great songs, don't get me wrong. I've not heard a bad song from this guy, but I think it's one of them artists that it's an individual thing. Every song has got some meaning to all of us. So if it's not yours, I'd love to know what yours are, so put them in your comments, because there's some great tracks by Gordon. So here's my 10. Okay, coming in at number 10, this is from 1982 as a single. Got to number 6 in Canada, number 50 in the US, and it's Baby Step Back. I love this track. I love the acoustic guitar at the start, and then the rest of the band comes in. It's a great vocal. Gordon was a great singer, and it's a great story. It's a lovely track. I just love it. Okay, coming in at number 9. Now this one is from 1970, and it's off the album Sit Down Young Stranger. Minstrel Off the Dawn, an early track. I just love this. It's got the acoustic guitar is so gentle, and the strings really give it a little bit of depth and atmosphere, and that little bit of harmonica in there also works well for me. Coming at number 8, we go to 1976 now, and the album Summertime Dream. and it's the track Too Many Clues in This Room. What I like about this is the guitars. They're rich. It's a bit funky as well. I just think this is, you can sort of get lost in this track and you can forget all your worries for a few minutes. Okay then, coming in at number 7, we go to 1972 now, and the album Don Quixote and the track Brave Mountaineers. Again, it's a wonderful story about mountaineers, and you know, not many people would write songs about mountaineers, but Gordon did. It's a country sound, tells a great story, and it's Gordon had the best voice for telling such stories. I think definitely Canada's best ever songwriter, in my opinion as well. Okay, number 6 for me. We go to 1974 now, and the album Sundown. And it's The Watchman's Gone. Again, it's just so emotional words. Again, the strings. Having a bit of strings into tracks really works. And it's just a lovely track. It's quite emotional as well, that one. Okay then, coming in at number 5, we go way back. We go back to that debut album from 1966, Lightfoot. And it's the lovely Early Morning Rain. It's just got atmosphere of that early morning rain. When you wake up, you got that early morning rain. It's got a really good bass line in this as well. I love that track. Number 4, 1974, a big hit for Gordon. Number 1 in Canada and USA, and it even got to number 33 here in the UK. It didn't have big hits over in the UK, but it is a song that I remember seeing on Top of the Pops at Sundown. I love this. It's a lovely song. Huge song. I just love it. Now coming in at number 3, for some reason I listened to it and thought, yeah, it's okay, but it's a bit long, so it went in my bubbling unders. But I listened to it again and thought, no, this does not deserve to be in the honourable mentions and bubbling unders, so it got into number 3, and it's a big hit again. From 1976, number 1 in Canada, number 2 in the US, number 40 in the UK, and it's The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. As we know, he wrote a lot about shipwrecks, and I think this is the best song he ever wrote about shipwrecks. I sat and listened to it under the headphones, and I just changed my mind. I thought, what am I putting this in the honourable mentions? You have to really listen to the songs, I think, and I love how he sings this in a low key. It's a bit of a sea shanty, it is as well, in the middle of it. It's just absolutely brilliant. Okay, number 1 and number 2 were always going to be Where Do We Go? I sat and listened to these two songs over and over again, and then eventually I went this way. So number 2 for me, again a big hit. Number 1 in Canada and America, 30 here in the UK, and it's the brilliant If You Could Read My Mind. One of his most popular songs. Again, it's just a lovely story, and he delivers it beautifully as ever. So my number 1, it's the one that I forgot to put on the list initially, and if it weren't for Mastermind Dave, I'd have totally forgotten about this. He just says, you've missed off talking in your sleep, and I thought, oh god, I have. So when I put this together, and what I do, I listen to all these tracks and then I just sort of fiddle them out. I'll do it on Spotify. I just keep moving them up and down, and in the end I went with this one because I just love this. It's just one of the best lyrics he ever wrote. from 1971, number 19 in Canada and number 64 in the US. It's Talking in Your Sleep. It's a gentle song. It's got, I don't know, it's just something about it, and it brings a little bit of a tugs on the heartstrings, this one. That's probably why I like it. It's a wonderful song. So there are my favourite songs, but I have got some honourable mentions. There are so many great songs. Okay, first one's from 1968 on the Did She Mention My Name album, and it's Black Bay. Brilliant song. It's got a really nice story to it. It suits his delivery on this. Is wonderful. Then the next one is one of his more recent ones from 1998. The album was A Painter Passing Through, and it's called I Used to Be a Country Singer. I love this. It's a story that he maybe, you get the story, he's telling it to a cleaner or a nurse, and he's just telling these stories and woes of being a country singer, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. Good track. Okay, we go back to 1970 for the next one, and go back to the Sit Down Young Stranger and the Cobwebs and Dust. I love the use of the pedal guitar on this. The violin works. It's just that lovely combination of instruments and singing. Okay, the last one, because I've got 4 today, and I couldn't leave this one off. It's from 1998, and The Painter Passing Through, and it's Drifters. One of the best songs on this album. I just love it. It sounds so good. Even 1998, Gordon was still producing great songs. He produced great songs up until his death. So there we go. There's a little bit of a tribute to Gordon. I'd love to hear what your favourite Gordon songs are, because I don't think there's anyone that I've ever met, when you mention the name Gordon Lightfoot, and they go, oh, what a great singer, what a great writer. So excuse me. So I'd love to put yours in the comments below, give him a proper tribute. Okay, normally I say that's all for today, but it isn't, because I've got a birthday top 10 to do next. This is for Gary, but we know that's his real name, but we all know him on YouTube as Pulsar. So and he's got a big birthday today, so we're going to do his top 10. Because of the when he was born, there wasn't an American chart, so I've done the top 10 for the UK. I said to him I couldn't find one. He was quite happy for that. So it was a bit of a challenge, but there was a number 1 in America, so that's on there as well. So that's coming up next. So bye for now.